Sarlacc Digest, the long-running live stream podcast digesting Star Wars topics for over 1,000 years. Join them for all the latest news, rumors, and theory crafting with none of the drama or the bullshit. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. And don't forget the Sarlacc Toy Chest, covering all the newest Star Wars toy releases and news from Hasbro, Hot Toys, Jakks Pacific, and more. Live every other Monday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there and keep it nerdy.
You must choose. Choose wisely.
Holy Grail Toys is the ultimate destination for rare action figures, exclusive merch, and collector-grade drops. And now, taking pre-orders for the Bandito 112 scale action vehicle from Odd Frog Entertainment, releasing in 2026.
You have chosen wisely.
HolyGrailToys.com, PlasticNews.com. All the latest from Hollywood, toys, gaming, comics, and anything pop culture. PlasticNews.com. Don't forget the IQ. PlasticNews.com.
Happy 2026. And of course, Steve starts it off with out of focus camera. I appreciate you, Steve. I appreciate it. Can we fix it? Can we fix it? I don't know what to say.
Nope.
I don't know what to say, but we're going to fix this camera and momentarily. Otherwise, Steve is out.
Yeah.
Steve is out. I don't care what you all say. I know we had the team meeting. We said we're going to keep him around a couple months. He can't even figure out a camera. But it is 2026, and it's good to be with all of you again for another episode of PPI. And tonight we are going to talk about Dr. Doom, Avengers Doomsday, all the rumors, all the little trailers, all the teasers. We're going to navigate our way through that to see what's real, what's not, what should we expect. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Will it be ugly? Who will know? But we're going to get into it. Plus, lots of action figure pre-orders on the way of 2026. McFarlane, Legends, Hot Toys. We're going to tell you what to pre-order, what you should avoid. And plus, the Arctic Hiss Countdown has arrived. Are you going to pre-order? Lots in store this evening for this 2026 episode. Steve, I'm not kidding around. Fix my camera. We'll be right back. This is Pixels, Plastic, and Ink.
Susan, you're fired.
You still have a chance, Reed. Go on. Save me.
Do not think for a moment I shall ever rest until I have what is rightfully mine. Here's to the future, my friend.
Steve.
Look, you can't blame Steve. He's not at your house.
Well, that was the end of Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah,
We just blew it for you. That was it. That was it.
To this date, it's still the most accurate version of Doctor Doom in live action.
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy that is 100% correct statement, and it's like holy crap! Why is that still the most accurate version? So,
well, I got to tell you before we get started. See, Dr. Brantley, look. I know you have a sweet, a secret heart spot for Steve.
Yeah.
Just because we pay him in peanuts and collectibles doesn't mean he can't get it right. So we finally got it right, gentlemen. How is your 2026 kicking off, Mr. Storm?
Well, actually, almost one, recovered from a cold. Two, the other night almost broke my foot. So I was halfway to a sling right here in my office and everything. But other than that, man, the Yuletide cheers and everything else went all right and everything else like that. But the main question is, how is Dr. Brantley doing? Because Dr. Brantley's going to spend some money, and Hot Toys does do a payment plan.
Well, yeah, that's really disturbing too, because I did just get a VO job, so
well,
I'd be able to pay for it. But
I know you're going to pay for it.
Well, Indiana Temple of Doom will be temple in your room momentarily.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Chet Maddox, how are you, sir?
Yeah, man, I think it's good. I think 2026 is trying to get rid of everybody. I woke up the other day and felt off, and my blood sugar level was 396. So that was fantastic. But outside of that, man, I am doing really, really good. We've got a lot going on. Stuff is blowing up, and look, I'm excited. This is the first show of 2026 for the SKN crew. So, yeah, man, it's going well. But what about you? How are you doing? I heard that I heard someone say something about someone grabbing some Mezco figs that apparently sold out in like a minute, and so I feel like there's this thing that I'm gonna have to start paying rad scalper prices when I need stuff from you. How are you doing though?
I'm doing well, sir, and we don't scalp here. I will share with you, once you're a part of the syndicate, we are scalp free. So for those of you who are not familiar with the syndicate, that is the new and the best Discord server. It just launched just last week, and we invite you to join. If you're new to Discord, you're like, what the hell is that? All you got to do is click the link, sign up. It's super easy, and it gives you a variety of different options to choose from. But at the end of the day, it's all the people who support the channel, who host the shows, who collect toys, toy photography, video games, pop culture, you name it. It is growing. We are now close to 80 members a week in, and it's just going to continue to grow. So again, if you haven't joined, it is free to play, free, no strings attached. So click the link, and we got to get some shout outs to our channel members once again for always coming in and supporting the show. The Shadowe Elite here, the Syndicate, and the Prospects. So again, we very much appreciate all the mods in the Discord server. Obviously, Meek's modding the channel as well. But before we go any further, if you haven't already subscribed or liked or dropped a comment, whether you're here live with us each and every week, Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, or you catch us on the replay, please make sure to subscribe. But let's check the chat and see who's with us. The first of 2026. So first off, Meeks, the moderator. What's up, brother? I hope you had a great holiday as well. Good to see you as always. And we got Stu John Jedi. Hello, man. Appreciate you always hanging out. support and be some. Good evening. Good
What's up?
evening. Tripping with Toys in the house. Again, we appreciate you coming in all the time, hanging out. Max Rebo Experience, Happy New Year +1, same to you. All right. Well, again, appreciate you all. Lots of family commitments, friends commitments, 2026. So thanks for hanging out. But without further ado, Mr. Storm, I think the buzz is buzzing, the rumor mill is flying, and we got our first couple of sneak peeks into Avengers Doomsday.
Absolutely, and already speculation and rumors and everything else like that. I don't know, man.
It depends on which movie you're talking about, but yes.
And also, what's going on, Patty? Welcome
Patty.
in tonight. Yeah, man, we've been it was a heck of a week, man. There's been some things that have been hitting, and Chris Helmsworth, I think he nailed this. This one, I know he was saying after the last movie, he wasn't too happy with some of the results and everything else like that. So, we'll definitely get that. Boom, we'll knock it in. Let's do this. We're going to run this for 2026. We're going to get tonight's topics so everybody knows what's going on. We're going to talk about some Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers. And we've also got some images from this coming up week's part 3. This is supposed to be in front of the Avatar film for week 3. Then we got some pre-order mafia for all you toy heads out there. You want to make sure that you're part of the family. Well, you can be part of the family with pre-order mafia. Then we got some plastic news on SKN, and I'm talking about there was a float that was rolling in the Rose Parade, and it was beaming people up. And after that, we got some upcoming events and everything. And don't waste it, because the last figure of 2025, Emperor Doom, came in, and we've got that unboxed for you. So we're going to throw that in a little later as well. So let's roll into it, gentlemen, and let's hit your thoughts on. I wish we had some dramatic music, but
Dun, dun, dun.
Avengers Doomsday teaser. Look, I was online. I haven't heard one person complain about Chris Helmsworth. Everybody now, the teaser trailer 1 with Chris Evans. Everybody's likes to see him back, but there were some complaints. But when it came to Chris Helmsworth, everybody's like, this man knocked it out the points. In fact, our own Scully in our text chain actually quoted it. Yep, check got my joke. He does all the time. He's a master at that kind of stuff. So, gentlemen, what do you guys think about the teaser trailer? I think it was less than 30 seconds, Dr. Brandley?
It was a little bit longer, but pretty good. The best part is knowing that he's going to leave his daughter at home while he goes and does the adventure part.
Yes.
So, that was one of the worst parts of his last movie. So, hey, done.
And one of the things, obviously, I don't know if it is Marvel, Disney tactically releasing the leaks in terrible quality, but we saw the Cap trailer before the official trailer, as we did Thor, and then I'm sure everyone has seen the X-Men return with Cyclops, the Sentinel, and we now see Xavier and Magneto. We have not seen the fourth one yet, but I will tell you with these two, I was excited to see Cap. I know people were like, oh God, I didn't get any goosebumps, but I don't care how long Cap is in the movie. Cap is the story. He's the first Avenger. I love that Chris Evans is in it. Yep. I'll take it all. And then Thor, what kind of villain and power is needed for Thor of the god to beg, I need more power? What is happening? Some shit is gonna go down when Thor is praying to the almighty gods.
Well,
I also say one last thing I will say. Finally, I think Chris Hemsworth said it best. He became a joke of himself in that the Watiti films, and he realized, and I think the Russo brothers realized, this cannot go on any longer. We need to bring Thor back to the epic Thor that we know, and not with the long hair, butt naked, being a fool of himself, because that last film was a joke. Yeah. And I know, Chet, you agree. They ruined Thor.
I was just gonna say that. Look, I think he's begging for more power because they screwed it up with Lady Thor and made a mockery out of one of the strongest beings in the universe. And like, hopefully, they trash all that crap that they did after the first Thor, and they really give the power back cinematically to Thor, because I think they really have something on their hands with him. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, after the Hawaii Waikiki Tiki, whatever that dude's name is, film, like, it's just it wasn't good. But yeah, go woke, go broke, and that's Disney's motto, and that's how they make films now. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see this. I'm with you. I think it's cool to see Cap. It's cool to see Thor. All these like little like sprinkles of things that we're seeing. I think it builds hype, but I do think there is a lot of just like burnout on superhero movies. So the issue is that you could sprinkle in everything you want. We think it's cool, but if it doesn't work and it's not what it needs to be, I think that we're at the end of the line here. So
Yeah, no, I think that they were talking about this as a direct sequel. So they're kind of nixing out all the stuff in between. And they're basically saying that the last time that you saw these characters was basically after the battle in the world was kind of set. All right. And so now you've got these characters just jumping back in. I think Chris Helmsworth actually did look at a long, hard point of what the direction of Thor was. And I think that this was a very good pivot. And, look, there's hopes for another Thor movie that's directed a little bit more serious. And, when we looked at Chris Evans, we don't know how long he's going to be back or for whatever. Because from what we understand, after Secret Wars, there's supposed to be this massive reboot of all these characters. Other than I've heard Chris Helmsworth is the only guy that's probably going to remain. But they are going to have a new Iron Man. They are going to have a new Captain America. They will have these variants or whatever they want to call them come in and take place. And look, the thing I'm thrilled about is when we jump over is, look, the X-Men reboot has to be the thing where, like, if you're going to reboot it from the Fox films, well, who are you going to do that with? And that excites me the most, because you've got another 10 years out of the X-Men characters that you can just run as predominant points of the universe. We've seen the Avengers take it for almost 15 years. Now you get to see the X-Men. Of course, we always want to see the X-Men versus the Avengers. You've got that chance. So I'm thinking they're picking things up, man. They're handling this right, and they got the Russo brothers. And the Russo brothers, some of the best success that Marvel's had has been with them at the helm.
Yeah, everything's going well when they say, ignore the last 6 years of what we did.
Now, I'm interested to see how they're tying in the X-Men into all of this. And matter of fact, there's so many different characters that are going to be intertwined into the story. It could go to very different paths. Follow a comic lore. It could be something different. I did get excited to see these two back on screen, and then the epic Cyclops shot with the Sentinels in the back. But how does Doom fit into all of this? And will Thanos be in this or not? That's the rumor, is at the early stages. For no spoilers, but if you read the book, right, like Doom just takes out Thanos. Like, are we going to see that? Is that going to be an audience like payoff, or is it going to go a different way? I think it all will be told by the fourth trailer, which we hope to have some hint of Doom, because right now we haven't.
Yeah.
And I think everyone is kind of waiting for, maybe we don't get the official look, but I think we want to get something. And I guess the rumor mill is now, and a lot of these people who have said previously that this was going to happen in all these trailers, and it came to be true, is that Doom has a sword, which is quite interesting if we look at like the historically what Doom has looked like over time in comic books. The medieval look with the sword could be really badass on film. So we shall see. And I guess the rumor also is that he's playing chess. I don't know if that to be true. That is the rumor. And all of these people here in the Marvel universe are just pawns or chess pieces as he's manipulating all the story. So it could be really great, and I think they're doing it right. I like these little teasers.
Yeah, no.
They
I
have
think
11 months. They still can figure stuff out.
Yeah,
yeah.
About 9 to 10 months that they can still reshoot stuff and add it in. So, I think they're just starting on this. Marvel is always taking their movies apart and put them back together, mostly for the best, at least early on.
Well, you've got the two gentlemen that has rarely ever disappointed us. So, like, to go back to them and just say, hey, this is the course that we're going to run, that gives me assurance already. It's because the Russos have not done trash when they've done their Marvel films. So they are tried, true. And again, the best Marvel MCU films is Winter Soldier still up there as one of my all-time favorites. So they get Cap, they get all the Avengers correct. This is one of those things where it's like, man, if there's going to be a top film of the year and everybody's saying it might be the Mandu and Grogu, I think that Doomsday has the potential to reignite people back into that theater as the huge big box office kind of thing that we've been all wanting to see the MCU. And then after that, like I said again, take that back, reboot, do some things. I'm hoping this movie is awesome. Everyone's hoping this movie is awesome. But again, got two of the main guys that steered the ship. That's what gives me hope that it will be awesome, because they have not produced crap, man.
If it isn't, it's over. Yeah, I mean, it is old. Like Tron, it's over. The series is dead. If it is bad, it don't make its money.
Well, I think somebody's getting
people
fired.
will just show up, but it could be. That's it. Like, there will not be a recovery. So, not to put any pressure on these dudes, but you got to pull out all the stops.
And then we'll have Secret Wars next year after that. So if the first one doesn't work, they're in real big trouble.
Here's the thing. I think if it doesn't, I think this is the first time, because he's on the hot seat a little bit. Kevin Feige got a problem, because if this does not go right, and the same thing, if Mandu and Grogu don't go right, they're going to be some replacing at Disney. It's not going to be at the point, because they got big mergers going around. Now they got some competition across town that has a huge amount of bucks to go after them. Somebody's getting their job gone. It's not going to be just like, oh, let's do it like we used to. No, there's going to be another phase. It's going back to phase 0.
100%. 100%. Look, and Cyclops in the OG traditional suit, sign me up. Like, that's a cool shot, man. That's what Cyclops is supposed to look like.
They should have been doing this from the first movie. It looks so good, and they were afraid that translating this comic accurate stuff would look stupid. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. And speaking of Mando, I hope that is great too. My only concern is, like, it was supposed to be Apple TV and it turned into film. So this was never supposed to be TV. So does that mean anything in terms of story or budget? But they've had so many years to work on it as well. So I'm hoping that both of them bring the heat. Marvel would be dead as a 375 has. Yeah. We'll see. But I think the fourth trailer, the teaser trailer, that should be coming next week, will give us some inclination to what all hopefully this means. But I love seeing these characters.
Absolutely. Meek says if this movie flops like Tron, multiple people will get canned for sure. Disney can't afford to mess up, and that's exactly the part it can't. And I thought that Captain first, not gonna lie.
Hey, you know what? Desperation. They might just no, it is not Xavier. It's Picard.
Star Trek and the X-Men did cross over in a comic book.
Yeah, they did. Actually, too. This is from what I heard. This is Sir
Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart's last film. He says that this is the his swan song. He's retiring from films after this. So let's just come on, man. Look what we did to Sir Sean Connery. Well, you gotta give him a good send off, bro.
By the way, that's Gandalf. If we all think that's Magneto, it's Picard and Gandalf. I mean, they're just ripping off. They're doing whatever it takes to make money.
Stu John, dude, My Little Pony in the multiverse. You never know. You never know. Well, again, Doomsday rolls it in, and look, we've been looking forward to this, but we know what you guys are always here for, and you know what it's time for. Well, time for pre-order mafia.
Leave the McFarlane. Take the Mezco.
That is right. It is pre-order mafia. And as always, there's some rules to this for first-time listeners. So we're going to have Mr. Maddox break it down for the first-time listeners if you're just tuning in.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you've been missing a lot from 2025, but welcome to 2026. This is pre-order mafia, 3-tier system. Number one, it's a made figure. That means that it is worth pre-ordering. You should pre-order it. If you don't pre-order, we have no idea why you are not, and you have a lot of splaining to do. Next is Forget About It, which isn't necessarily a bad figure. It's actually probably pretty good. It's just that none of us collect it, and it's not something we're going to pre-order, but we get it if you do. The other one is Sleep with the Fishes, and like anything else, that is a really, really bad figure. Now, we do have a resident figure maker that tends to live in number 3. However, sometimes they tend to move up the ladder. I don't know if they've ever necessarily been in number 1, but they've definitely been in number 3 and number 4, which is the hidden one of all, which is what we hope that none of these today come up with, but it could happen. And Stu John said, okay, but I still want a cannoli.
Well, rumor has it that the Batman figure that was attached to the firework for the spectacular is still in the air and has entered space. So
absolutely. And if you guys haven't watched the Toy Box Rockin' New Year's, check out on the channel and everything that's that. There's puppets. Nothing goes wrong when you have puppets. But first up, non-disappointing. So we're starting this week off with a banger. And I just thought my good friend would love this. And cue the music. Oh, wait a minute. Disney won't let us do that. But if you do, guess what? When we all saw this, and I think Rad was the first one to send it over to our text chain. And he was like, have you seen this? First of all, I almost thought it was a joke because I'm like, wait a minute. Come on. Because this is just too clean. Because Dr. Brentley always says, hey, man, I'm not going to buy something and everything. Look, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, not as big as Dr. Brentley, but I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is a main figure. I'm buying this. But I'll let Dr. Brentley, all his joy and glee come into this, sir. What is your thoughts on this one?
This is probably the best head sculpt I've ever seen of Harrison Ford on any figure, Star Wars or Indiana Jones. It really looks like him. They got all of this stuff right, from Temple of Doom, missing the sleeve. He looks great. And I saw that all of these parts are leather. They actually have the whip is leather. His belt or his holster is leather. Looks fantastic. And that's cloth goods also that they actually... This is where the difference is, right? McFarlane, this would have had maybe one stitch going around it. This is actually like, oh, someone took the time to make the screen accurate version of his shirt.
Well, and I heard that this also is the first figure where they actually use skin from Harrison Ford. So it's gonna be cool.
I mean, the close-up pictures, if you look at it, it's probably the best paint job I've ever seen, because it actually looks like skin. There's like little bits that look like freckles on his skin, painted chest hair. So they outdid themselves.
Yeah.
The biggest complaint from the last indie Hot Toys release, it was from the last film. And you get the older version of Harrison Ford, which looks great. But as you all recall, in the beginning of that film, you had the classic Indy, and people wanted that head sculpt. They're like, look, I like the old Harrison, but like the iconic one is the new. And that was the biggest complaint of like, why didn't you include that? Well, now we know, because they were like, save your money for this rendition of Temple of Doom. So they got your money, indie collectors. You're going to buy this.
We know the dial is trash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This one, we already saw custom dioramas being made for this figure. Look, I love Indy. I literally only own the Mezco. this is going to be in the collection because it's just one of the most iconic characters of all time. And I agree with you, Dr. Brantley. I think it's better than any of the Han Solo's Hot Toys that have released. This is the definitive version.
Absolutely. Max Rebo Experiences give him the DL44 from the Han figure. You could look, man, that likeness is just amazing. And come on. Like, this is one of the few times where like Hot Toys is pulling. Hot Toys started off the year on fire. They're like, man, we are going to make sure that even the average, like, just non-purchaser is like, oh, I cannot purchase this. And also, just a quick reminder, there is a payment plan. Thanks to our good friend. There's a payment plan. So there's no excuse for you not to put this on 72 weeks or whatever it is to get this. But this is an amazing figure. But that's not the only thing. Hot Toys said, no, we're going to take a little bit more money. And they dropped. Oh, my goodness. I could not believe this. Another Spider-Man figure. But wow, is this not the, definitive Maguire figure right here? This thing looks fantastic. Holy crap. Sam Raimi would be proud of this one, man.
Yeah, this is, I mean, look, I'm going to call it out. Spidey is packing. I don't remember, I do not remember this scene with the tight pants here, but another great head sculpt. I'm not a fan of the battle damaged Spideys, but look at that dial, man.
That's
with the
dial.
Goblin mask.
Yeah, wow.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. Now all actors get to approve their likeness. So he probably was like, this is great. You just need to add a little more below the belt.
Below the waist, sir.
And then we're set, guys.
Absolutely. Well, again, here's another made figure for me, man. Hot Toys is 2 for 2. What do you think about this, Mr. Maddox?
I mean, this is great. Like I'm kind of tapped out on Spider-Man stuff, but
Yeah.
I think that overall this is like, I mean, this is a very, very good one. I also am not a big fan of battle damage. I think that it sometimes it's done right. Majority of the time, I think it's a little overplayed, but I think this is the best version of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man ever, and that Dio is awesome. So
Absolutely.
I just want that little helmet from the Green Goblin.
Absolutely. So again, I guess for the 2 Hot Toys, all made figures, I'm taking it. So,
Made
all
figs.
right.
Yep.
All right. Well, we go from some made figs to maybe some not so made.
Here we go.
We drop into our point.
We went from packing Spider-Man to Ellen.
And for those of you that are new, this is our favorite number 3 toy manufacturer of all time, and number 3 is, of course, referring to Sleeps with the Fishes. However,
Yeah. He had some up, and look, this wave right here, which actually go up for pre-order next week, January 7th. So make sure that if you are into McFarlane, I'll see CS director here tonight because I know he's a big McFarlane lover. But there's some one. They got elongated, man. I don't know if the fandom was asking for that. Again, McFarlane has another now 11 months left with the license. But Black Hawk looked pretty good, man. I was actually kind of shocked. If you're into that version of the DC universe, a lot of people don't know who these characters are, but Max Rebo,
you got that right.
Max Rebo got to do this.
Okay, so
okay.
One thing that I don't get, it's like, and I've started to slowly notice this. I don't know why. I was like, why do some of the McFarlane head sculpts look off? He makes fun of Liefeld because he can't do feet, but McFarlane can't do eyebrows on his head sculpt. They're always like some odd looking. Like, look at these both figures. Like, why do I need that kind of weird eyebrow look if you're not going to give me interchangeable heads? Like, why would I want that captured on my figure? Something's weird.
Yeah, this one's I don't know. B-Sim and knocks us out of Todd owes me money for having to look at these figures. Oh, well, guess what? He might owe you a little bit more, man, because elongated, man, that's just a couple in this series, actually. If you jump over it, too, he's got from the Legions of Superheroes, Cosmic Boy. And then you've got over here Professor Pig, which was created by Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert, which I love Andy Kubert. And then here's one where I was a tad bit disappointed because I do kind of believe he should come in his own packaging. Because one of my favorite DC figures, and it's not Zordana, it's actually Detective Chimp. But then again, though, if Detective Chimp came in his own package, is he still like the $27 or is he half off? Because he's not a lot of plastic involved.
He would still be $27. It's like Black Series selling R2D2 for $27. So
yeah.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. All these kind of suck. They're all Sleep with the Fishes. However, Professor Pig is awesome. I think Spock to Enterprise. Yeah. I think Professor Pig is a very cool Batman villain. He's like tainted with perfection. That's his whole thing. But he's Grant Morrison wrote him, so like the character bio, like it's gonna be up there. But I'm excited for that, and I want. This is the first McFarlane hostage pack I think we've seen in a long time because I want Detective Chimp, and I'm gonna probably have to get that. But
yeah, no, I'm not.
See, I don't think it's that bad. It's almost worth it to get Detective Chimp. And Zatanna, she does happen to look kind of like Cher in Burlesque.
Yeah,
but
because that's what you collect, Cher and Burlesque figures.
Yes, but that head sculpt that head sculpt's actually pretty good. Like if there was going to be a 2-pack potential, that one's actually not bad. Give me some weird random characters versus shoving down our throats.
So they could have done like Detective Chimp and Cosmic Boy.
No, definitely not.
That's a hostage.
Yeah,
pack.
that would be a hostage pack. Darth Mucha, I'm late. Good evening, all. Hey, it doesn't matter when you come in late. It's always good to have you in.
Better late and sorry than on time,
Yeah, and I'm looking at there's Darth Mucha. There you go. Already welcome in. When you look at the Cosmic Boy, look, I know they've been trying to cram the legions of superheroes down our throats for the last decade, and now they've got Josh Williamson doing it, and I don't think that's going to be any better. I just think that these characters just don't work right. And I'm pretty sure that now we've seen Supergirl on the screen, we're going to see the legions of superheroes start popping themselves up.
Do you think now that the Supergirl's on the screen, right, and we've seen do you think that James Gunn found that truckload of figures that McFarlane had stolen?
He probably did. Well, I'm sure it probably went over to his house. He's probably going to be scalping those out the back.
Okay, cool. I was just curious. I mean, I think
these are going to be worth so much in another year.
Exactly. Yeah, really, right there.
Could you imagine soft goods on Detective Chimp?
Oh, of course.
That's the thing is like some of these characters, like you're not going to get it for the price, but still, like I wish some of these characters could be redone in a more upgraded style of figure because that would be cool.
There's 2 monkeys that I love and shit. Hit Monkey, great Hulu series if you haven't watched it. And second is Detective Chimp. And they fell off a truck. I know, Stu John, they did. but look, if you can get both, look, my only plea is out there, and there's only one manufacturer I think that would give Detective Chimp his prosperous look that he needs. Mezco, come on, he's like the Chimp. He's almost Sherlock Holmes. It would be dope. So if there's out there, but hey, again, I would say a couple of this one falls into forget about it. He's got some Sleep with the Fishes, but he's got some forget about it. So it's not a wire coat for Detective Chimp a win. Yep, Max Rebo. I know. It'd be a big seller for me, bro. But,
I think
these aren't bad, man.
I'm with you. Most of these are forget about it. Professor Pig is one I definitely need to get. I love that character.
That's moving up. Because normally it's all let's sleep with the fishes, but he's got some people are swimming out to the top of that boat.
Don't be surprised though, by the way, that he moves up so much that they just cancel the idea of Mattel doing figures.
You know what? Look,
Mattel's on shaky start. They can't get their crap together, and they gave McFarlane 11 more months of paydays. So
absolutely. Well, and I would say probably one of the greatest ballots of all time. Once, 2 times, 3 times a lady. Hopefully, Second chance for pre-orders. Oops, nope, might need a third chance. As the new year rolls in, Senora Blanca resurfaced. Round 2 of the 1/12th collective. White Skull Agent Senora Blanca is now live, but if you missed him the first time, this is your second chance. Oh, I'm sorry. Currently unavailable, sold out in 2 minutes.
And they
Brad,
didn't even, yeah, they hit the Instagram with that one.
Brad, how in the heck? I saw this 38. First of all, it came up on X in 38 minutes. It had been gone. But like, how, if you're into Mezco, how do you reassure yourself to get these figures? Because this is almost damn near impossible. And let me hit up for a couple of things. This is Darmucher and Mattel I Trust, Dalwin McFarlane. Ooh, Mark Darmucher, oh. And the real world Rhino. Chet, can you explain the Mattel situation and not having their shit together?
Yeah, I can explain it real quick in like 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
So Mattel was supposed to take over the DC license, and then McFarlane was saying his sayonara's. He's on his way out, and he was done. That was supposed to be it. And then Mattel was like, you know what? Actually, we're not ready for it. Sorry, we told you weren't going to do the figures. And apparently we have more reach than you do. However, not enough to get our stuff together. So we need you to do the DC figures for the next year so we can figure out how we're going to do this. And if you know Mattel, a lot of their stuff lives inside of like Monster High or Motu, and they're only good figures they have that are really worth the articulation is the Ultimate Series of WWE figures. So the problem is that Mattel used to do the DC license. McFarlane got it, did it really well in the beginning, has kind of like faded off. And now McFarlane is coming out with a bunch of bangers towards the end. He's got 11 more months. And so we just have to sit and wait and see if Mattel is going to actually have their whole like ducks in a row to be able to start producing these figures, or if we're going to see an extension of McFarlane. And all that was because they said that they had more reach than McFarlane. But it doesn't matter about your reach if you can't produce good quality action figures. And that's where Mattel is coming into a problem. Is like, think about Mattel and how many different lines of action figures they actually make that collectors want that are not Motu rehashes. So and that's what I mean by that.
I will declare that, sir. That was over 120 seconds. So that was the 3-minute rant, but
I will take a timeout.
Steve, you can bring him back. You can bring him back.
There you go. It's go.
Like at least his camera was in focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
look.
From,
I would going back to Mezco here. I know people get frustrated with some of these releases. We've said it before. I'm an avid Mezco collector. I'm fortunate enough to be able to get the bulk load of these releases, which is really nice. I know because people don't. I know this one was a tricky one because they just pop in. But one thing that I do appreciate is I know it doesn't help the scalping third party market, but limited drops, you create demand. And I think I love that about Mezco. It sucks when you don't get a hold of these figures, but I think it's exclusiveness. These figures are great. White Skull Agent was a top-notch figure that was commanding $400 or $500. It's been many years since they released a version of it. Here it is again. So I get it. It sucks, but man, what a cool figure. So if you have the opportunity to grab one, that's amazing. Look, 112 days around the corner. Mezco 112. So we got 10 days left. They'll do some exclusive drops. So the only thing I can tell you is just stay tuned to their Instagram and their website. Usually the reorders drop on a specific day at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. So load it up. Get ready. If you're in the Mezco, you might get
Not to mention, you also post about it in the syndicate. So make sure you're in there.
Yep. Make sure you go over to 100%. That Discord. Get yourself locked in and get all the rules from the Radster. To let you know how to get Mezcos, because
that's a good point. For there's a lot of people on other socials, not just YouTube, that are tuning in tonight. So we appreciate it. If you haven't hit the subscribe on the YT, please do so. But Discord, the Syndicate, the new Discord server is live. The link is in the bio. Join. It's free. As you heard, rumors, news, community forum. We're trying to build a massive community with a bunch of amazing YouTube hosts and channels and pop culture and toy photography and action figure fans. So if you haven't already, hit that bio, join us on the syndicate. That's where you get a lot of cool stuff, man. And we're get to 80 members. We're gonna get 100 members, and the goal is to have thousands of people just chatting about cool stuff like we do every Friday. So hit that link. If you're new to Discord, super simple. Download the app, join. We'll walk you through it.
Yeah, we had Steve put up on the screen for us right here. It's in the Discord right there, Syndicate Discord. Make sure you guys are checking that out, and you get all Rad's little secrets when you go over to the Discord. And also, take this moment out to thank our channel members. Absolutely thank all of the the Shadowe Elite, the Syndicate, the prospects. You guys actually keep us going, so we appreciate everybody that's a channel member. You can go right over to the YouTube channel, and you can check out how to become a channel member. Also, there's a figure flight club that actually goes. We do this giveaway once every month, and that's if you've ever had like a beer that's a flight, or you went to like a tour of Italy or anything else like that. They've seen a couple of pasta places do a flight of pasta. But you basically get a figure from a different line. So you actually, let's say you're on the fence about Marvel Legends. You don't collect Marvel Legends. Well, you win this giveaway. You can actually see for yourself, or your G.I. Joe Classified or whatever. I know that we've got one of our members here that's promising to do a Hot Toys flight. That's Commander Bly. We thank him for his service to us. We'll let you know when he said it won't be early in the year or something. I think he said he's changing it to a HasLab flight, but we'll see. But anyways, hey, if you go over and you become a channel member, and it doesn't matter what tier you're on, that giveaway, you are all involved into it. So we're looking for that. We done one in December, and the fabulous Darth Moocher won that flight pack. And we will most definitely do one in the next coming week. So tune in. Let us know from there. Yeah, gentlemen, we've knocked out some stuff. We got some news in the world and everything. But before we go into the plastic news and SKN, the very last figure of the year came in. It was Emperor Doom. Since we are talking about the Doomsday.
Are you talking about this guy?
Came in. Yep. And I think does anybody come in there? Well, I've taken mine out of the box and everything else. And I got to say, this is a great figure, man. Fantastic. I love the detail. Look right down even to his shoes and everything else like that. Wow, man. This is a great figure. If you haven't picked him up, he's still some available. Look at that belt, man. The detail right in on this stuff. Cape's fantastic too. He stands extremely well. Great figure. If you haven't, go over to Amazon or wherever you purchase from, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, whoever. He's still available. He is a worthy character, and I got a feeling that look might influence something in the actual Doomsday tour. So just saying, we're going to see some of these more Doomsday figuring, but it's a great figure, I would say. Now, I'm not, I don't do our unboxings. The great Mr. Chet Maddox does it, but I will have to say I'm going to give this figure an 8 in my opinion, but you've got to watch his unboxing that'll be coming up soon because, again, he's professional. I'm just the dude to just buy his figures at Ross Wynn. And I don't know, Max Rebo. I don't know if this was going to be. I think you might have to wait for that one. Ain't going to be no Triptychons. But anyways, we rolled through that. And guess what? It's time for a little bit of plastic news on SKN. That is right. Plastic News is powered by plasticnews.com. Get all of your toy and entertainment news from Plastic News. We thank them for sponsoring this segment. Yes, that's right. They do pay us to sponsor it. So thank them for it. We're going to roll into something a little early tonight. And yesterday was the ball hit in Times Square. And here on the West Coast, we have a different tradition. And Dr. Brentley, you can take this away.
Yes, it was the 137th Rose Parade. Been going on a long time, but have a little video to show you. But one of the ones that was there, the floats, was Star Trek's 60th anniversary.
Happy New Year. This is 2026 and the 137th Rose Parade. It's also Star Trek's 60th anniversary this year on September 8th. George Takei from the original series was on there, Star Trek. Rebecca Romaine was there from Strange New Worlds.
Tignataro from Discovery, and Kareem Diane from Starfleet Academy, which may very well be the end of Star Trek. My mom actually got to work on one of the floats. It was the America 250 float, and it won the Leishman Public Spirit Trophy for Most Outstanding Floral Presentation from a Non-Commercial Participant. It was called Soaring Onward Together. She was involved with some of the dry work that goes into the leaves. Someone has to cut up the leaves and the moss before someone else's job is to glue it onto the main frame. You can see this assembly line. They actually had to, each feather of these eagles is individual, and they had to put all these seeds and dry bits on there for this color. So that was one of the things she worked on. She went to her first one in person in 1966 when she was in high school, camped out with some of her friends to go there, and now she's got to work on one.
All right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, she said it was a great experience. She went about 3 times, and they started doing that before Thanksgiving, the dry stuff. And, they just wait until the last minute to put all the actual flowers on. But yeah, pretty cool. Star Trek 90210. Yep. Unfortunately, that's what we have coming up. It's January 15th. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
By the way, Moocher's the first person in the history to boo a rose parade float. No one has ever booed. Are we in Philly? What's going on here? Booing an actual float.
Yeah. Stu Johnson was at the Sky News song. And also Max Rebo said no 7 of 9. Yeah, Stu Johnson, no 6 of 7. Yeah. It kind of gets it down to that. But yeah, every year, like as and like I'm honored,
of course.
As somebody that grew up in the early parts of I lived in Altadena and Pasadena for the first 10 or 12 years of my life. And I can definitively say I hate this fucking parade. It is. If you lived in that city and everything, you hate that parade too.
I was expecting some heartfelt moment.
No,
completely
brother. Like I said again, I've had family members that worked on the parade. I've had like businesses, everything like that. It's the people in Pasadena. Everybody from the world loves it. And people in Pasadena fucking hate it. So always cracks you when you see. And for the last 10 years, I don't think I've seen one in the sun. I think it's always rained for like 10 years now on this one. So interesting thing. It's always cold, damp, and wet out there. So
and it was going hard too as these were coming out. So
yeah, it was starting to really hit. When you had George Takei, and I was like, somebody probably needs to hold that umbrella because it was really hitting them pretty hard. And it's a Darth Moocher, even though I think that the new Trek sucks, and I have as much Trek knowledge as I do Star Wars. Yeah, well, we're gonna see again. Paramount. Ooh, yeah, thank God this is the last of it. Don't worry, they got some saving to do on that and everything else like that. So we got it. We're ready to see a sea of Star Wars in 2027. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
hey,
I said,
Mando and Grogu didn't have a float this year. They got a movie coming out, so
I know. They're probably waiting for 2027 for the 50th anniversary.
Sure.
So I'm pretty sure that's they're already still working on that one.
Sure they are.
Yeah. So we'll roll into the next one and everything else. So that, hey, you know what? We love it. You love it too and everything. It's actually popcorn buckets, but this one's a tad bit different. They haven't started off the year with a brand new popcorn bucket, but I got to give it to the people over at Cinemark and Rego because they're going to up this thing. They've got the BYO Bucket 2 on. Now, there's a National Popcorn Day that's celebrated on January 19th, and they're also going to do it on the 18th. But like Cinemark said, you know what? We're going to do something a little different. They've got you BYO Bucket in theaters.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I am going to find a movie to go see, and I'm going to bring one of the stupidest size buckets that they've ever seen because I feel like they messed up. And by stupid, we're going to film it, and I'm going to bring in one of those gray trash cans on wheels and ask them to fill it up with popcorn.
All you need to do is add a handle, a giant handle, so it's like, hey, this is a bucket.
No, actually, here's the thing, though. Again, it's in theaters the on 118th and 119th. We'll fill it up with regular popcorn or kettle corn, available at select locations for just $5. But get creative with it. Any container can be a bucket, including a Lowe's 5-gallon blue bucket.
I'm telling you, it's coming. It is going to be pink. Yeah, it's going to be pink as the real Rhino says.
I'm dressing up like Heath Ledger, Joker.
Nope.
And I'm rolling a school bus in the back of the movie theater, and I'm loading a popcorn.
Well,
the whole bus.
If you head over to Rego, if you dress up, you get a free large popcorn. So cosplay is 100.
Cosplay
so again,
and a school bus full of popcorn.
Yes. So now
Cinemark has a much better deal.
No. Well, no. Hold on now. Here's the thing. Go to both theaters. Like, first hit up over at Rego and just come in dressed in and get your free popcorn there. And then, bring in your bathtub or whatever you want to do. As anything's a bucket and trash bags, whatever you want to do. Bring it into over at Cinemark and the BYO bucket too. And let me tell you something. If this is anything like GameStop, they've screwed themselves.
Look, all I'm saying is that Alexander Storm is going to be the filmographer behind my bucket experience. So we have to figure out what kind of movie we want to go see, but we are going. I don't know if I have a Yeti cooler, but if I don't, always worth buying one for comedy.
I actually might get an actual bulldozer with the dump party come and say, you said any kind of bucket, right? Dump my popcorn dumped it. But hey Rad, if you show up with the nurse outfit, you get to blow up the actual theater chain.
That'll go viral.
Where you sit outside with what's happening? It's like the whole Regal just goes up and smokes and everything. He's like, see, this is what happens when you do too many.
I don't think they have any idea what's in store for these days.
No. I saw there's a meme that was online where 7-Eleven did the same thing, and he had a kid come in with an actual, I think it was a Harbor Freight bucket, and like the guy was like, "That's not, you can't put the icy into that." He said, "But you said any kind of cup. That's not a cup. That's a bucket." So they're in some trouble. But I give them credit, though. They're celebrating National Popcorn Day. Pay attention. Cinemark's in the area, Rego, 118th, 119th. If you got the kids, take them over there. Expensive as theaters are nowadays and everything, the concessions are way higher. So take them over and treat the little kiddies and get in there. Nothing like getting free popcorn.
Look, if you're at the same theater as we are, the popcorn's covered.
Yeah. Pretty much no.
And look, if you need some extra boxes to take, you don't want to spend the money at like a Home Depot getting your cardboard box. There's a bunch of Tron HasLab boxes that are going to be available because nothing's shipping in those bad boys. So contact Hasbro if you need some additional merchandise for your popcorn.
Absolutely. Well, from there, we roll over to Dr. Brentley. You take this one right here.
Warner Brothers says no again to Paramount. The board of Warner Brothers Discovery is poised to reject the amended takeover offer fielded by Paramount Skydance last week as David Ellison keeps up his pursuit of the assets he sees as crucial to building a 21st century Hollywood heavyweight. Bloomberg News reported Tuesday that the WBD board was expected to reject the amended offer that was made with fanfare by Paramount Skydance on December 22nd. WBD has already struck an agreement to merge with Netflix in a deal valued at more than $80 billion. Netflix is reportedly interested in giving a 17-day theatrical window for Warner Brothers films once they acquire the studio. Well, 17 days. Well, that ought to cover everything.
Wow. 17 days. What? How nice.
Yeah, theater owners.
It's almost 3 weeks, right?
Theater owners are screwed on this. We all knew this was the play. This is why there's so many actors in Hollywood that are really kind of up in arms because they understand that Netflix does not give a damn about theaters. They just care about what comes onto their streaming service. And God knows they've already fucked up WWE. Why not Warner Brothers? Keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming. But that 7-day window, there's going to be some pushbacks with the union on that one. Good luck, Netflix. Good luck.
You're not going to be able to get like really good filmmakers like Christopher Nolan,
Yes.
right? The reason he left was because they wanted to just put out Tenet.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he's like, no, this needs to be in a theater. It needs to stay as long as possible to make its money because his audience doesn't go opening night. It
they don't.
goes, it plays for like a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
So, this kind of screws all of those people that are actually making films. They just want content to put on Netflix that they have already semi-promoted. Hey, it was coming out. Hey, it's 3 weeks later. Remember that movie came out? Well, now it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I believe this is called the Jared Leto clause because usually his movies don't last more than 2 weeks in the box office. So
exactly, it'd be a triple feature. All of
the Tron references will be continuing through the month of January. That's for sure. Congratulations again to your Graveyard Award, Mr.
Absolutely.
Leto and team.
Well, I know Darth Moocher said 70 days is the joke. I saw that flash on screen, just one like that. And Stuja Jedi said the Paramount deal is the worst. Yeah, look, no one wants Paramount. Just go away. Figure out something else. Sony, somebody else is around town. Universal, do whatever, but nobody wants you to have control of Warner Brothers, much less the Warner Brothers board. So, Jesus, just because you got the money, and Ellison's like, I'll personally guarantee $40 billion when you're way more than that, huh? Oh, thank you, big spender. So, again, we'll see how this goes. But from there, if you watch the channel, there's a show on here called Getting Medieval, and we've been on hiatus for the longest. Why? Because of the fact is that, well, Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power series on Amazon has been kind of gone for about a minute. So, it's kind of hard to do a show called Getting Medieval, not a lot of medieval stuff. And especially with the whole Game of Thrones and everything else. God, it somehow takes them forever to make dragons and people. I have no idea. But it's been announced that Rings of Power Season 3 has wrapped filming. That's great. But the actual timeline of this it's less good once you do the math for the potential Season 3 release. So if the Ring of Power Season 3 just wrapped production now, another 14 months of post-production would produce a release date in February 2027. That is a full 2.5 years, or I like to say a Stranger Thing time between seasons. That's a decent bit longer than 23-month gap between Season 1 and Season 2. And again, you can check out Getting Medieval if you want to know the breakdown of Season 2, but you probably don't even have to start watching that until like 2026 at the end of the year. But myself, Dr. Brentley, and Darth Moocher host that show.
Isn't that Vecna? Isn't that the actor that plays Vecna? Or no? It looks like him.
No.
Might as well be him. 2.5 years between things. So
man.
Kind of looks like the dude.
Well,
I didn't watch the last season because I couldn't get through the first episode, so I wasn't sure. But
it's controversial. But the problem that happened was you've committed to 5 seasons. You told the Tolkien family that you were going to do 5 seasons. I don't know why in the hell it took you 4 months after the last episode of the show to say, hey, we're going to renew it when you're going to renew the show. So that
probably because they knew they had a bad show on their hands and didn't want to commit the money to it.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do we see the Season 3 first? Do we see Grand Theft Auto 6 first? Or do we see the last Game of Thrones book in stores?
No, you won't ever see the Game of Thrones book. No, that's not a joke. Unless he AIs this, you're never going to see that book. That man has said repeatedly he hates writing novels. So you're never going to see that. He's never going to finish that book. That'll be something that they'll either have a ghostwriter, or if he can just program that, put that in chat GP and just do it itself. But he's never writing that, man. Yes, I built on the first episode. A lot of people, look, Dr. Brentley, myself, and Darth Moocher watch the show. It's it's just like whether you watch the Peter Jackson's one, some of them are up and some of them are down and everything like that. The first episode started off fantastic. So, but I think it's one of those you got to sit through. There's some really good twists and turns. There's a lot of like special effects. You can see the epicness that they put on the screen. It runs a little different, but it's in a companion piece. If you watch Peter Jackson's films, you can almost seamlessly watch those, and it's not really kind of like where it didn't kind of fit in. It looked like they tried to do it as companionship. So I would tell you watch it, but slow burn.
But there are some storylines that are better than others.
Yes.
And some stuff that's a little bit of a slog to get through, especially the first season was a little more uneven. The second season I thought got a lot better. So, hopefully it goes even better for the third season. But, taking this long when it really needs to pick up directly where it left off last season. These people have, it'll be like 3 years since we saw them last. That's a little much.
Absolutely, man. I don't understand that. I think this is what I think that hurts any Netflix show. I think that hurts any Amazon show. The only thing that I think that I've seen do year in year out is Amazon's Jack Reacher. That comes out once a year, every year. They've done a great job. But Fallout took way too long. I think you kill momentum when you go this long, because by the time, look, you're going to have to watch all of season 2 just to remember what the hell happened.
What's crazy? What's crazy about this is like, if you think back to the TV shows we used to watch back in the day, every season was like 24 episodes, like 24, 26 episodes. And it was yearly. It was like year over year over year. And when it missed for like a year, everyone freaked out. But then they came back with like 24. It's like, what happened to that work ethic? Like where does that work ethic come back into play? And this is where I think is going to be a problem, right? Like fast channel TV is becoming more and more accessible, whether it's Roku doing it, it's Apple TV, or it's Amazon, whatever it is. Fast TV is becoming more and more of a reality. And if you get a group of people that can produce shows and they do it and they're addictive and they watch them, and those shows end up coming out always consistently on time all the time, right? That's going to be a problem for bigger networks, because what's happening is you have people that love what they do and want to do it for the love of it, and then they're just not going to sell it to like these big places because they know it'll fail, right? The Real Rhino said Fallout is pretty epic though. I love that show, 100% fan service, and I eat it up. Yeah, I'll agree with that on Fallout. But I think ultimately, like a lot of these big mergers that we're seeing happen, Max Rebo said, I think those older shows didn't have as much post-production. All the special effects take time and cost money. Right. And so instead of relying on special effects and post-production, just create a damn good show. Because if you think about all of if you go back and look at all of the shows that you liked, whether it was Knight Rider, A.T., Magnum P.I., Miami Vice, Golden Girls, whatever it was, right? Three's Company. It's all the writing is good, and it can all take place in like one studio. There's no special effects outside of like Miami Vice and things exploding, and some of those did have it, but you can reproduce that practical effects like you could anything like TMNT, the first TMNT movie, practical effect costumes. They could film it, they could do whatever they need to do, and then that movie still holds up more so than any other one. So I think this whole concept of like 14 years between episodes or whatever it is, like it's got to stop. Darth Vader said, yeah, the demand for grand visions in environments and CGI is tenfold. Well, okay, but the Mandalorian, right? A lot of their background scenes were on a giant LCD behind the actors on set, so they could create that like the big atmosphere they would need. There's ways to do it faster, but I think you're going to see a rise of fast channel and people producing better quality products.
I will agree and yet disagree with you. I think you're going to see the rise of AI, and I think that they're going to run a lot more AI that's going to basically take more jobs away because post-production does take so long. And so I think you will start seeing them ram that down into post-production work a lot more to get the times quicker, because look, we've all seen it. Netflix and all these other places don't like these long times that these creators are doing. They want to speed it up as much as that. And this is a Full House type of show, set on Coruscant, 90s. It takes place in one living room. I think that was Skeleton. I think they did that. There's no more 12 Angry Men movie dialogue-driven masterpieces. No, because they've proven that. Dr. Britman and I work in the industry, and they say that audiences, they don't want to have intellectual films.
Yeah.
They want something that the audience can follow. Me personally, I'm a patient person, and I'll wait for quality. You'll love that, but you won't. That won't happen, or what's
Yeah,
gonna end up
like
happening, they're gonna run.
that's what
they're gonna
everyone
run
said
AI.
about Stranger Things. They were waiting for the quality, and then they got this slop that
You'll
came
wait.
out.
But I'll argue, you still have Christopher Nolan style films that great dialogue that also combines action sequences.
Well, I think they're too scared to mess with Christopher Nolan.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
he,
Is
he
I don't.
scares them.
Well, success has a lot to do with it too. I think if you have success as a director, the less studios would be involved. The problem is these newer directors or writers are probably not getting the strong sense of control because they don't have reinforcement of like, I've created 4 or 5 films and this is what it done at the box office. So the newer generation is being tweaked and this and that. Who knows? I know Stranger Things, people are just been, just destroying it. Who knows if that was influenced somehow? We don't know. It could have just been them shit in the bed, and it turned out to be not what it was in the first couple of seasons, or it literally could have been Netflix executives said, "No, we want you to go bigger with this." We don't know, but the fact is there's not a lot of Christopher Nolans that can say, "The hell are you talking about?" This
But
is my film, or I walk. You know what I mean?
It's hard to meet that expectation as a filmmaker whenever you do a show. Look, every show that we've seen in the last, other than I would think Breaking Bad's probably the only one that didn't disappoint the shit out of fans. But most of the time, Lost or whatever, you build up so much expectation, and then you get to the point of it, and you really found out that these guys never had an ending to this thing, and they just basically were winging it along. But Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan did a very good job. I think he knew where that character was going and how it was going to go. And Andor, for example, is something that you couldn't rush. That masterpiece's peak. Absolutely, but also you have a proven filmmaker there as well, the Real Rhino, and then the Hidden. Hey, welcome in, sir. But I think this is where, yep, I definitely agree with him too. I think that this is what's happening. Real filmmakers are the ones that are benefiting from this rushing these other. Because look, from Stranger Things, it was way too long. Like I don't think they really had a creative process because it doesn't. Dr. Brintley and I work in Hollywood. The two of us can produce a show just by ourselves without a writer's room, and basically it would take us 3 to 4 months to do a year's worth of 12 or 13 episodes. So it's not that hard. But when you don't know where the path of your roadmap to the end is, that's where you have problems. Because then you've got everybody influencing you and telling you what you do, fan expectation, things like that. And then you end up just having something to dilute it. That wasn't what you were thinking. So I think that's why Tony Gilroy and Christopher Nolan and, some of these other great, the Russo brothers, they just have their formula. They're able to write their stuff out and it just becomes what they want. These other guys are, winging it along. They don't know if they're going to have a hit. Look, no one really knew about the two brothers until they did Stranger Things. Then they blew up. Game of Thrones. No one knew about those two writers. They blew up, and then they blew their careers up.
Well, there was things like Star Trek: The Next Generation. They did 26 episodes every year. Every week, they had new costumes, new makeup, new complete worlds that they had to invent, and they had about 2 weeks to do it. And they shot for 2 weeks. They had 2 weeks of pre-production, and then like 2 weeks or so of post-production. That was all done on film, so they had to go and get that processed at a lab. It was done on magnetic tape, recording the voices. So there's this huge post-production thing on that is just eliminated now because it's all digital. It goes much quicker. So they are just taking longer. I think there's a lot more meddling with people because now it's all corporate. This has to align with our corporate values. You can't do this, you can't do that. And, whoever knows what kind of weird rules they have. But used to be able to knock it out once you had a system going, and they just have got away from that.
I think what you want to have is a new director or writer or someone break through that has less involvement
Yes.
from studio execs, and then it crushes, right? Like Jordan Peele is an example, was a comedy writer, did his successful TV show, but no one was overseeing his film until it made so much money, and then he became the guy. And so he has a lot more oversight into his projects. You just need chances. Give up and coming new people chances to write, direct, to produce. You can't just have the same circle of people producing the same crap over and over again. And that's part of the issue too, is like rehash is because you have the same creative minds behind the stuff that you've already seen, or renditions of it, or like I've seen that before in this thing universe or whatever. We need fresh voices. And again, we've championed Godzilla 1, right? -1. That director, that creator, I forget his name, but like we've said, like give him a Star Wars project, give him a Marvel project, put him on something, give him a Tron project, which is never going to happen. But these are the people that need voices to get in a vehicle to make more great stuff for not more than $500 million.
This is where I'll differ from you on that. And this is the problem. And this is what old Hollywood did better than new Hollywood did. You don't want to do Star Wars. You don't want to do, jump on the Star Trek or do anything. I think that's what the problem is, that they get these guys that are doing one great independent movie, and then they put them in this position instead of the George Lucases, the Francis Ford Coppolas, the early filmmakers. Maybe because Christopher Nolan did a couple of independent films first. I think that you gain strength when you do your own material. And I think that now, with all the points that we're on YouTube tonight, and I think the next global hit is some guy in his backyard that edits, puts it up, and puts it on YouTube, and he starts putting out films that way. And I think that's how you break this cycle of corporate domination, because Hollywood wasn't run by MBAs and corporate backers and accountants. They used to be ran by creatives. So now you're going to have to do like they did in the 70s with the black exploitational films or anything. You're going to need to actually start doing independent stuff away from these two branches, get some success and get some power. And that way you dictate to the bigger companies what you come in and what you do. And I think that's the next generation of Hollywood worker. And I see a couple of little things going up here. Actually, I'm going to answer this one right here because he's always in the shows and everything. Unbelievable. SKN, can you please make a celebrity guest voice actor episode, please? All right. What we will do is I will tell you, we do have some. We're going to Toy Atlanta. We're going to have a couple of things that we're going to do. We're going to, when we're at Toy Atlanta, we're going to get some actors in for you, man, because I've seen you ask this question a couple of times. When we go to Toy Atlanta in March, they'll usually have some animation or some other actors there. We will try to get that in for you because I've seen, I didn't want to think we were ignoring you. I've seen your point come up a couple of times. Is that crazy for these shows to have 20 plus episodes a season? It used to have that, man. And then
it was.
Does anyone here think that the brothers will be back? Will bring back Cable from the MCU Doomsday project? I don't know, because Josh Brolin, I think he's gonna be Thanos, but you never know. They may have him acted again. You know,
multiverse.
Yeah, there could be something.
Everyone
in there.
Play everyone else.
Yeah, I felt like The Sopranos changed how TV works. I think that the HBO changed how Warner Brothers actually did it. Very interesting how they've done it too. And it's a corporate greed is running films. I will 100%. And Stu John, hey man. He was a pioneer, and if you haven't actually watched that Eddie Murphy film, My Name is Dolomite, you damn straight want to watch it because it's one of the best Eddie Murphy films. And Dolomite, I grew up with him. He was a pioneer. He didn't get the love that he was when he was back in the days, but he was an independent film producer. So you got to give credit. I think that's where it definitely needs to be. But hey, we're running through this, and like one of the main things, we've got some people I see that are not here on YT that are over on the mighty other channel. Make sure that you're actually popping over to YouTube and subscribe, or head over to the Discord. And can we put that link up to the Discord and get you right over so you can keep the conversation going 24 hours a day over at the Syndicate Discord. That is affiliate for ourselves, for the Blitz Transmission, for Sarlacc, and several others. It's a network. It's a Discord. When you see that Syndicate, you know quality program is coming, toxic free, and always full of energy. Head over to the Discord, the Syndicate Discord, and sign up and keep the conversations going and everything. That Discord display where everyone wants to be. And special thanks out to our channel members. That is right. So we thank all of our channel members, the Shadowe Elite, the Syndicate, and the Prospects. And again, we do this figure fight kind of giveaway, and we're going to be doing that this month. We did it last month. That will be several figures from different lines. You never know. It could be, G.I. Joe. It could be from, Ghostbusters, whatever. But it's a sample, just in case maybe you're a one-person collector. You're only into I'm only in the Mythic Legions. Okay, well, then you have an opportunity to see what classify it is or something. So we do that as a figure fight giveaway, so you can actually get a hold of that and check that out. And hey, everybody wants to know one thing. Where can they find this, brother? Where can they find us? Well, you know what? We got some upcoming events coming, and we got an event calendar to come up here. And now we're not going to live stream at the first two, but Toy Atlanta we will be. But you've got on January 10th, myself, Mr. Maddox. I don't know if I know Scully and maybe a couple other members of the crew will be going down to Toy Depot's Geeking Out, which is January 10th in the city of La Mirada. Want to come down and hang out with us or meet up? Hey, we'll be there and having some good times. And then the next show you can catch us at is TF Con, Los Angeles. So bots, if you're into Transformers, well, we're going to be there rolling out with you on the March 13th through the 15th. And that is in Burbank, California, and is right across from the Burbank airport. So if you fly in, you can actually get a hotel right there and you can fly right out. Then our big show, because this is one of our home shows of the year when we use the term home. This is like basically, one of our main shows that we go to. And that's going to be on March 27th through the 29th in Duluth, Georgia, Toy Atlanta. And we will be live streaming from that event. We did it last year. That will be our first live remote of the year. So we're going to be, if you haven't had a chance to do that show, it's a great show. You want to attend, very community based. But also if you figured out, hey man, how can I find it out? Go to our Discord, the Syndicate Discord, or you can head over to plasticnews.com, our sponsor. And if you check there in the calendar, and I do mean every event in Northern California and all over Northern America, and maybe they might even have some international shows. But man, they got a calendar there. And guess what? The best part about it, Mr. Maddox, how can you personalize it if you go over to Plastic News? There's a way that you can actually even inject that into your phone, right?
Yeah, there's links. If you got Android or iOS or whatever you use for your calendar, you can download those months into your calendar and add it in there. You just got to click on that file. So,
wow, man. Guys, we're at Plastic News are always innovating, man. That's why we always get our toy and entertainment news from plasticnews.com. They put the IQ and fandom. And then from there, again, when we said you got the Syndicate logo, when you see that logo, you know there's quality. And the toy chest was every other Monday over on the Sarlacc Digest Podcast YouTube channel. Well, starting on January 5th, it will go weekly now. Every Monday at 5:30 Pacific time, the Sarlacc toy chest will be going live with basically Darth Moocher, Scott Solo, Tommy from Blitz Transmission, and myself. Mondays is now a place to be. So now you got Mondays, you got Wednesdays, you got Fridays, you got some Saturdays, you got some. If you go over to Syndicate, you can actually get a full listing of all the shows. You won't be out of the loop when we're on YouTube or any of our other Syndicate members are. From there, man, I don't know, Rad. There's so many good things going on, man. The syndicate has been blowing up, brother. I know.
Yeah.
Again, they can get some great information by you how to get some mescals over there, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's huge. And again, like if you're new to Discord, you've never done it, maybe Discord started kind of more in the video game world, super easy to download. Again, it's free. We're not making any money off this. We're not sponsored. It's just to build a big toy forum and community through various channels. And look, if it's not your thing, all good. Follow us on Instagram, hop into the chat here on YouTube, in X and everywhere we're streaming. But like you said, Mr. Storm, some big things on the horizon.
Yes, sir.
And as we inch closer to Toy Lanta, a huge announcement will be involved. Vault 9, more to come out, but I will say there's going to be some big things happening. So that, a lot of other things I know in the world of what Chet's been working on, and then the collective team here. So more to come on that. But we got a ton of guests lined up over the next couple of months, as we did in 2025. Some familiar faces and some new folks. Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time, is the Toy Box Chronicles, where it's more toy and collectibles focused. And then obviously here every Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, pop culture, toys, collectibles, etc. It's good that it's Discord that belongs to the community, not one channel. 100%. Yep.
Yep.
So you can definitely hang it in there and check us out. But I think that is it, gentlemen. We again, the first show of 2026. Really great stuff. Any final words before we depart?
I do. So there have been talks, and there's a need in the toy community for a collecting app that is based around the community, for the community, that builds community, and that is what Toy Hunter is doing. So if you are part of the syndicate, you know that Toy Hunter right now is in beta, but it is driven by the community. There are some people heavily involved with decision making on what is coming out and what's going on. Toy Hunter is a product of Vault 9 that we work on. Its first live convention will actually be at Toylanta, but the Android is about 2 weeks away from launching the Android. I will be inside the chat right now is the link to sign up for the iOS version. Make sure you get in on that ahead of time. There are benefits of being one of the first in Toy Hunter. It is live, so you can go on, click that link, download it, get it installed, send your feedback. But this app is got a giant roadmap. As a group, we've planned and we've engineered something great for social. And just like the Discord is for the entire community, this app is driven by the community. It's not some cheap knockoff app that uses AI to scan shit and then tell you all the wrong codes. This is actually pulling live data, both from eBay sold completed, eBay listings. It's got pricing history, everything you need in there. So make sure you download that. Make sure you get it going and testing. It's already gotten some really good reviews. And again, we see the comments. They come up. You become part of the group inside Discord. And then as you make mentions and comments, there was a mention in there of like, hey, we need a news section that was added in the next release. So go check that out. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. And hopefully it will launch full-blown public the beginning of next month. So right now is a perfect time to get in and create what that looks like.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, everyone in the chat. As always, the regulars, the new people, anybody in X that's following us, the Instagrams, Kicks, everywhere else that we're streaming. We appreciate it. Again, we will see you on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on SKN. Have a great rest of your weekend. Adios.